Hello and welcome to another Motoring Middle East web review. Today we're taking a look at the Land Cruiser Xtreme. This is the most extreme off-road version of Toyota's off-road icon, one that you all know all about. So I'm not really going to waste too much time because all of you know what a Land Cruiser 200 looks like. But let's see what the Xtreme add-ons are like, and if this car is really worth 280,000 dirhams of your money. Yes, 280,000 dirhams. This is the V8 version, 4.6 litres, 300 horsepower, so it's not the mid-spec. There's actually an even larger one with 5.7 litres and a slightly different body kit. But let's see what Artic trucks who make the Xtreme cars have in store for us. So what's very different about the 200 series Artic Land Cruiser? Well, let's get through the basics. Really, the body is largely the same, but of course you have these fender flares installed by Artic at their facility in Dubai. These aren't bushwhackers, these are actually fabricated in Dubai, and they do cut into the body to do it. So quite an extensive modification. Front and rear fender flares. What else have we got? Well, of course you have the Artic mud flaps, which are one of my personal favorite touches. These 18-inch wheels, which are 285/60/18. So these are split spoke rims, quite sexy actually. Pick up a bit of mud if you're not careful. And BFG AT KO2 tires, very, very strong tires. Not my favorite, they're a little too strong. This sidewall is practically bulletproof. And of course, the trademark tread pattern that extends all the way down the sidewall. Otherwise, it's pretty much stock standard Land Cruiser. There isn't a huge amount to talk about. I think it's a pretty good looking car. Suspension is Pedders, not the usual Fox shocks that they put on, but it's made in Australia, it's supposed to be quite good. I should point out that this is a dealer installed series of modification. So Artic Trucks is based in Dubai, and they sell the cars built to local dealer Al Futtaim. Although this is endorsed by Toyota and of course will not void your warranty. Let's look at the inside and see if anything else has happened. So no surprises here really. This is very much the stock Land Cruiser 200 interior. I think this is equivalent to what Al Futtaim would call the GXR spec. So what do we get for the money? Well, pretty simple, straightforward instruments. Not the high spec instruments you normally get in the V8, even though this is a V8. This is more like a V6 instrument cluster. Normal wood steering wheel, quite comfortable, well size. I'm happy with it. Perforated leather for the seats, very comfortable. This is possibly, well, it's not yet an ideal driving position, but you get the idea. This is one of the most comfortable seats in the class and really gives a fantastic view of the road. Start stop button, of course, with the usual Toyota Smart Key. This stereo, not ideal. It's a little bit old-fashioned. In fact, I would go as far as to say it looks a little bit Chinese, a little aftermarket. Doesn't really befit the Land Cruiser. And it's very simple to use. See if I can mess that around. The navigation's very good, very clear. I used it to go to Abu Dhabi the other day. Takes a bit of time, but very clear, very simple, easy to operate. But of course it washes out in direct sunlight. And that's another problem. This piano black finish looks great in the showroom, but it picks up fingerprints and dust and sand very easily. So a bit of a wipe is what you need to do all the time. Famous Toyota clock, which will never die. Automatic climate control, which is actually very, very easy and simple to work out. Everybody who's ever seen this knows exactly how good it is. And of course the Toyota AC is one of the best in the business. Down here, what have we got? Aux USB jack. That's the only one USB port. It does about 1000 milliamps output. This is the range select, so it goes between high and low range for off-roading, but generally leave it in this, it's fine. This is turn assist, so the car can actually brake and pivot on one wheel, like a wheel sort of spider. You'll never use it out here. This is the hill ascent descent, and this is the speed for that. Basically it's off-road cruise control. Will you use it? Again, very unlikely. Center diff lock, which is very useful off-road. Traction control is fully defeatable if you hold it down for about 5 seconds. ECT second, which starts the car off in second gear, so in case you don't want too much wheel spin off-road. This is ECT power, which actually does, what does it do? Well, it makes the transmission less sluggish and holds on to gears a bit longer. The 6-speed isn't great in this application. It can feel a bit sluggish, but it's very smooth and slurs through the shifts. Overall, it's what you expect from a Land Cruiser, all put together beautifully. There's a little bit of space here and there. There's the sunglass holder, of course. Been around since time immemorial. Sunroof, not full length. Then there is this bad boy, which is the sunglass extra holder, as I'd put it. But the real piece de resistance of a Land Cruiser is the cool box, which works very well, and everybody who knows it loves the cool box. Things that are missing, well, it's not very stylish. It's all feeling a bit out of date and a bit old, which is what the Land Cruiser is. I mean, this came out in 2007, guys and girls. It's been around for a while, so there's not really that much they can do to it. This is the recent update that came out last year. Nice looking, but they haven't really moved the game on. Overall, what you expect from a Land Cruiser, there's really no difference from the regular car, even though this is the Xtreme one. But of course, the proof is in the driving. So let's see how that does. We're about to take a quick drive on road in the Land Cruiser 200 Xtreme and see how it is. Pretty stock standard starting procedure. You keep your foot on the brake and hit the engine start. That's it, like magic, off we go. Air conditioning is very strong. It's a Toyota hallmark. All the Japanese brands really excel at this. Of course, Nissan's very good too. The usual safety screen pops up. You can't see it. So this is, you all know really how a Land Cruiser drives, but I'm just going to refresh your memory of those of you who don't really know. It drives like a big boat. Like a Viking ship rolling through the bends. It's not the fastest car in the world. Never will be. It weighs 3.2 tons. That's almost 1.2 tons more than my Ram pickup. It's a very heavy car, but it's a very heavy duty car. And to be honest with you, the driving experience feels pretty old. I mean, this is a 2007 vintage car. A lot of the stuff in the same segment, the Grand Cherokee and so on, or the Q7, they all absolutely muller it for on-road. I mean, if you buy this car for on-road, prepare to be disappointed. It just doesn't handle well. The steering is hydraulic, but it's a bit numb. The seating position, excellent. Everything falls to hand. Everything's very easy to understand. But it's just not the kind of car that particularly happy on road. I mean, okay, full power, right? 300 horsepower V8, full power. Yeah, it's not rapid. It's really not. It's not slow. It's just not quick. But again, it has to move 3.2 tons, and the 6-speed auto is reasonably responsive. I mean, it's fine. I don't want to make it seem worse than it is. It's fine. It's just not exceptional. I think the class has kind of moved on for on-road SUVs. But this isn't made for off-road. This is the Land Cruiser, and the Land Cruiser is legend because it's how heavy-duty it is. Fun fact, did you know that a Land Cruiser is made every 90 seconds? I've been to the factory in Japan. It's sensational. Every 90 seconds a new Land Cruiser, and they're made largely by hand, which is why they're so expensive and so heavy duty, because they're just made old-fashioned. The Japanese build this car to last in the toughest environments on earth. The problem with the Land Cruiser is to really appreciate this car, to really understand it, you have to keep it for quite a long time, like 5 to 10 years. 5-10 years is a long time. Most of you are probably changing your cars after 2 to 3 years. People just don't keep cars that long. And the Land Cruiser only really makes sense after 2 or 3 years because the cost of ownership is not that high. They're very, very rugged, very reliable. They can take an immense pounding off-road, and on-road, this engine will last 300,000-400,000 kilometers with just oil changes and basic maintenance. But most people don't do that now. I've owned one. I've owned a Land Cruiser 100 V8 manual, one of my favorite cars, the best family car I've ever owned, just a lovely, lovely vehicle. And I'm really sad that I sold it because I felt that if I had it today, I'd still own it. I'd still be driving it around. Lovely, lovely car. But I wanted something new, like most people. And that's the problem. To be honest, when I first got into this car, I really, really wasn't impressed by the extreme modifications. I felt it ruined it. Now, the tires and wheels feel very, very heavy. This KO2 Artic 18-inch combo is a bit heavy. It makes the car feel a bit sluggish. Then I found the tire pressures are wrong. They're about 50 psi. So I dropped it down to the manufacturer's recommended 32, and we were fine. But it doesn't make it exceptional. This isn't a great car. I mean, you come to the corner and you'll see. So I'm going to pitch it into a corner. Here we go. Oh, there she goes. Wheels squealing all over the place. That was not a magnificent display. And the brakes aren't that great either. I mean, this is a big heavy car and you feel it every time you start, you stop, you turn. But it does make you feel good. The great thing about the Land Cruiser is it has this wonderful thing where you feel like you're king of the highway. Like, look at this right now. You're going to see this like sand patches. Any other car you'd feel them? The Land Cruiser just damps them over. Every other car I've driven over these sand bumps, they're like whoa, 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 all over the place. But this car, look at it, we're going over these bumps. Nothing damps off-road like a Land Cruiser does. What a machine. What a machine. I mean, it's the kind of car where it's not the fastest, it's not the nicest, it is bloody expensive, but you feel like it'll last forever. So that's the on-road portion. I mean, it drives like a Land Cruiser. The Arctic stuff hasn't made it worse, but hasn't really improved it either. And if you've driven Land Cruisers not impressed before, but this isn't going to change your mind. But for those of you who appreciate Land Cruisers, this is a good one. But it's feeling a bit old. So I've deflated the tires, the 18-inch wheels, to about 12 psi, which is about as low as honestly I'd want to go. So Land Cruisers are phenomenally easy to off-road, and to be honest, this is the reason you buy this car. I didn't really get it. I thought, why, what a rubbish on-road car. Were they really this bad? And then I drove it off-road and I was just blown away by how easy and how amazingly capable this vehicle is. For a 3-ton car, you'd be shocked what a Land Cruiser can do. So all you really have to do, because you don't have any switchable 2-wheel drive mode, you just have full-time 4-wheel drive system, you just press this button here, which engages the center diff lock. You hold down traction control, turn that off, goes off on the dashboard, and turn off the roll sensing airbags. Because when you go over a dune, you really don't want the airbags to go off. I'm just going to go off-road. So this is the area behind Kudra, which is quite a nice series of dunes. Easy car to drive off-road. Very easy. So I'm just going to take you a little bit to a Kudra. Bouncy. Let's just go up this road. Power. So much power. Second gear just walks up here, and due to this impossible angles, this car is just so damn capable. Look at it, walking up, and I mean, I'm really impressed. And the thing about Land Cruiser is it's a bloody mountain goat. Now, because this is a stock car with reasonably tricky approach angles, I'm not going to go too mad, but you know, if I have to. Second gear is all you need. You see how smooth it is? The camera isn't wobbling, right? That's because it's a comfortable ride off-road. These pedal suspension actually really work. Soft sand, but Land Cruiser making no trouble off it at all. Let me head towards some more challenging dunes. Now, what the Cruiser isn't a Hoonmobile like the Raptor, so you don't drive it like that. But that doesn't mean it can't have a bit of fun. It's just a really heavy car. So, what shall we do? Let's go for a play. If you've been following our videos, you've probably seen us drive Defenders and things like that. They're not great in terms of road comfort, but this is soaking up the bumps. Look at this thing just go. Just makes mincemeat of these dunes. And then I'll just drop it over the side. And away we go. Yeah, traction control definitely off. Now, this may not seem very extreme, but it is to me. I don't like heights. So let me see if I can go over this dune and see what it's like. I think the word of the day is high. Whoa. Let's drop this into... Let's try hill descent. Oh, we can't do that because we got to be in low range. But look at this. Big, heavy lorry of a car. ABS does fire, so I would like some sort of system to get rid of the ABS. I'm just throwing things on the ground that's going to roll around. Very capable. And this off-road steering, on-road it's very slow and numb, but off-road gives you just that amount of confidence. Look at this thing. I mean, any other car would struggle, but this car just Billy goats its way up to the top. Not really interested in this side. I don't like it very much. Okay, bouncy. Let's put it to D. Let's go to the other side of the road. On the side of the road it is. Let's see what's up here, shall we? You can upgrade the suspension on these cars, but why would you? They're just so good out of the box. So good. So good. It's so easy. I can talk to you. That's how easy this car is. Because the four-wheel drive system is perfectly having grip every occasion. Oh, garbage everywhere. Terrible. You know, the traction control isn't kicking in. Ooh, this is a bit of a dune bowl. So the trouble with driving at midday is all of the conditions are very, very tricky to see. And look at the sand now, super soft, super soft. But the Land Cruiser, cruising. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Love it. I mean, honestly, I get it now. What I didn't get on road, I get off road, because I try not to avoid the trees and the plants. Sometimes it's essential. Ah, look at that, just scampers his way up. For the kind of person who goes off-road once or twice a year, maybe to the fun drive or similar kinds of events, this is a good car for you. You know, feels really capable, feels like it's easy to drive, and looks amazing. Let's go down, this is getting a bit steep. Yeah, for the most people, you know, that's the ABS again, I would want some sort of system to turn off the ABS. For most people, it's a good car, easy car, and it's all the off-road they'll ever need. It's got that little bit of height, little bit of clearance, and a little bit of attitude. Oh, zers. Oh, it's got a bit of air. One wheel. Good little donkey. So just a donkey, it just goes everywhere. Now, I have driven a lot of off-road cars like Wranglers and Jeeps and Land Rovers, and it's just the sense of balance the Cruiser has that marks it out from them. You can just aim at a dune and go like, okay, I want to go up that one. I'm not worried about bashing the bumpers or anything, although granted I am driving in quite a sensible fashion. I'm trying to avoid all these shrubbery. I don't like KO2s, but they're performing really, really well here. I mean, this car is just going everywhere. Can you get better suspension for the money? Yeah, the first thing I do is upgrade this to like something from King or Fox or even Icon. And you don't even need the V8. The V8's nice, but the V6 probably is just as good. And the 5.7, that's going to be a beast. This is such a great playground. If you've never been to Kudra, it's a great, great place to take your car and see how it performs in this terrain. And it's a pretty safe environment. There isn't too many big dunes that are going to scare you, but you can just have a bit of fun. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, yeah. No trouble. I wasn't scared. I wasn't. So, I think that's about it from me. Motor Middle East. I'm just going to stay here and hoon about in my Land Cruiser. Still looking at the desert. Because what else can do this and be so comfortable? This is Imtishan. This has been Motoring Middle East. This has been the off-road review of the Land Cruiser 200. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, leave it for us in the comments. If you want to see more off-roaders like this, get in touch. Maybe even drive your cars. For now, this is Imtishan. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all the rest.